So, hi everyone. Welcome to this session, and thanks for joining the session on connected automation. I am Savio Coutinho, and I head the engineering for AssistEdge automation. So, you have just been introduced to 19.0. This 19.0, with its new API framework and the features like low-code designers, workflows, and advanced AI capabilities, makes the platform much more extensible, resilient, and scalable. What we'll do in this session is we will take you through what changes are there in this product and platform under the hood, so to give a better picture on, what changes are coming in 19.0. And we will end it with a Q&A session. So please post your questions in the Q&A or the chat window, and we will answer them in the end. So I think with that I will hand over to Amit. Just before I hand it over, if you want to maximize, you will have to right click on the window and say show controls, and then you will have a maximize option on your screen. So if the PPT fonts look too small, maybe you can look at this option. So with that, over to Amit, guys, and Amit, can you take it forward?
Yeah, sure, Savio. Thanks, and warm welcome to everyone. My name is Amit Karoliwal, and I head the product architecture for AssistEdge. The plan for today's session is that over the course of next 10 to 12 minutes, we will look at connected automation from the vantage point of a solution architect, and then try to see how AssistEdge is constructed to support connected automation goals of an enterprise. So here is broadly what we will cover. One, we will attempt to define what exactly needs to be connected for building a connected automation architecture. Right? Two, what are some of those significant architectural principles that have guided this AssistEdge 19.0 release? And finally, we'll look at a summary view of the connected automation platform layers and enterprise security, which is the cornerstone of all AssistEdge releases. Surbi, let's go to the next slide. So we have looked at a connected automation platform, as a holistic means to connect processes, connect data, connect systems, and connect people. Now, these entities are a true means of representing the microcosm of complexities of an enterprise IT landscape. Each entity here manifests in different forms, different shapes, and different sizes depending on the business context and the historical legacy landscape complexities within an enterprise. Now imagine if an automation platform can step in and, let's say, through a guided workflow, better connect people and documented business process. Let's say an automation bot can step in and enable connections to a legacy system through a standardized HTTP REST interface. Maybe an automation platform can provide a way to help connect people better with data through a low-code web application, and so on and so forth, and we can create like a huge repository of use cases around it. We believe these are fundamental and extremely powerful use cases and a challenging set of entities that we could chase to interconnect through a forward-looking next generation automation platform. Let's move to the next slide. Thank you. So with this as a background, I think we'll see some architecturally significant principles that we have used and that have helped us to realize the different moving parts of AssistEdge 19.0 architecture. Next slide. Okay, so no real surprises here. This is the first slide, API first. We have aggressively invested in an enhanced open architecture and service orientation with API first components in the product. The core platform functionality is now exposed through standardized HTTP REST endpoints. All APIs are consolidated and ported onto a lightweight Express Node.js kind of a backend. with a very clear documentation through Redoc, integration with API telemetry through Swagger stats, and a whole host of things that you would tend to see from an enterprise grade API kind of a first platform, right? But more importantly, what it should enable is it should give you the ability to connect this automation platform in the overall IT landscape far beyond the current use cases of automation integrations through APIs, right? So, so if there is a custom credential vault that you have, and that's your standard operating environment, you need to support it. So it's a simple affair then to extend the existing vault APIs and connect seamlessly with your target vaults. So let's look at the next principle, which is another core foundational layer of any enterprise grade platform, which is data. We have further strengthened the entity definitions, created better common understandings of data, which is accessible by design and secured by default. Okay. So similar to previous releases of the product, data security around access control, audit, traceability for non-repudiation, etc., they continue to receive the highest priority attention from our side. We have also enhanced support for compliance use cases for critical activity data that we collect from user desktops, which is now run through automated PII reduction pipelines. And so, at the end of it, it is now easier to connect securely with automation platform data, and also easier to connect other ecosystem data within the automation platform. Let's look at the next principle. Okay, so connecting people and data through low-code capabilities is another key guiding principle for this release. 19.0 of the AssistEdge platform offers significant breadth here with new capabilities to create web applications through a standard drag-drop design studio interface. And it also allows you to design business processes through embedded workflow designers. In addition to this breadth, from a depth perspective also, you will see the existing low-code capabilities with automation studios are enhanced with capabilities on contextual help, guided navigations on automation configurations, and multiple such features which kind of aid this ability of citizen developers, the people to better connect with data, the people to better connect with systems, and people to better connect with processes. Let's look at the next principle. Okay. So in addition to this existing capabilities on task automation and orchestrations, the 19.0 platform now also exposes a powerful workflow-based process flow control mechanism. What this will allow is to digitally manage an entire business process with any combination of human users, automation bots, AI, and traditional integration constructs like APIs, etc., etc. These are fundamental and significant enhancements to existing capabilities of bot and human handshakes, which will be now governed through like a centralized workflow framework with analytics, with governance, with SLA monitoring, all coming out of the box, along with the core ability to run complex business process with multiple and complex human and automation component handlers. Let's look at the next principle. Okay, so yet another area of investment has been in building an all-pervasive artificial intelligence layer, which enables both platform-centric and business-centric use cases. These could range across document processing. They could be general purpose document processing, or specialized document processings like contracts, invoices, platform AI powering the task mining capabilities, clustering classification of business tasks as recorded from the user machines, and the connectors into general purpose cloud cognitive services and out-of-the-box connections with our specialized partner AI tools. Let's look at the next one. Okay, so there's no doubt that the cloud support is going to be fundamental and core to any new generation platform. And with 19 release, what we have done is we are offering better cloud affinity with support for containerized deployments across Docker, Kubernetes, We're also releasing ability to deploy AssistEdge platform on Linux environments. Hopefully that should reduce the overall total cost of ownership. Additional to all of this, we have also web-enabled some of our key automation assets like Engage, like Decision Workbench, which were like thick client offerings till 18.0 release. And we believe that these changes would significantly simplify cloud-based deployments of AssistEdge platform. And customers would be better able to focus on automation business use cases and deriving value from the platform and have reduced attention to operational use cases of running an automation platform. Let's look at the next principle. Okay. I think this is the last ones, but anyways, last but not the least, there is specialized attention to data-driven insights in the sense that in taking the raw data and as a framework working up the layers in creating informations, in creating insights, in creating recommendations, and in certain right fit use cases, taking automated actions as well. And this is spanning across all sorts of data, whether it is business tasks that are captured, whether it is business processes, whether it is platform operations, whether it is transactional data that the bot has generated over a period of time. So this whole progression from raw data to automated action is applied at multiple stages of the platform. And depending on the business context, depending on the use case, the flow of data is either through a configurable set of business rules, through specialized automation IP components that have been created, through machine learning models in some cases, through eventing models which will react to changes to the state of the data, and many of these would be drag drop, composed through drag drop based visualization tools, and will enable us to create a right fit business intelligence from the data. Right. Let's look at the next slide. Okay. So these 7 and multiple other similar architecture principles have guided the creation of a refreshed automation architecture in AssistEdge 19.0. Next slide. Thank you. Here is yet another critical aspect of AssistEdge 19.0. We continue to stay invested in our all-encompassing security practices covering application security, operation security, infrastructure security, and the overall secure development lifecycle processes. Year on year, our product security features and practices have been recognized by industry leaders. We have endorsements by leading analysts through specific mentions in MarketScape's leadership quadrants, Wave publications, and so on and so forth. And 19.0 release continues to build up on the same and deliver enterprise-grade security promises and the features that are covered. Let's move to the next slide. Okay. So in the backdrop of this connected automation narrative, we have set our sight to make AssistEdge a holistic and cohesive automation platform. We believe with 19.0 release, we have made significant headway on that front. So the 3 core tenets of process discovery, process automation, and process orchestration are ably powered through a native and orchestrated AI layer, and also ably supported by enterprise-grade concerns around scalability, security, reliability, and cloud infrastructure. Next slide, please. Thank you. So AssistEdge Discover, AssistEdge RPA, AssistEdge Engage, the native document processing, enterprise personal assistant, etc. They form the core set of offerings from the product. And these core products and the value-centric offerings are kind of ably supported by a set of enablers that include AssistEdge Marketplace with pre-configured bots, AssistEdge Academy with training, certifications, evangelization artifacts, and AssistEdge Community Edition that has been live for a couple of years now. So the inherent extensibility and open architecture of the platform has not only allowed development of the core product offers, the value-centric offerings, but it has also enabled us to better integrate with a number of complementary platforms and technologies around process mining, around BPM tools through out-of-box plugins, around workflows, and a host of other customer-facing and consumer-facing technologies. I think this is where we would like to stop and move to Q&A. Subhi, can we go to the next slide, please? Okay, great. So before we go to Q&A, I think we'd like to encourage you to try and adopt 19.0 release and experience a new, refreshed, lightweight architectures with abilities to power this connected automation across the four tenets that we saw: the processes, the systems, the data, and the people. I think let's take the first question now. Savio, is there an icebreaker there?
Yeah, Amit. The first question on this is, can you give a few examples on the extensibility of the new architecture? Maybe you can take that
Okay,
one.
sure. So from a platform perspective, the extensibility and integratability of the platform extends across multiple dimensions and various use cases. And if I were to organize the response for that in a couple of groups, if I look at the first group, which is the automation design and configuration capabilities. So we have released a new activity SDK. What it is basically a great new addition to extend the core platform automation capabilities with new activities for driving more automation through configurations. Right? The automation process quality check rules that we had created last time are also extensible. We can build new rules and configure mandatory compliance so that we have better quality, better resilient, and more reliable automations that are developed. If I look at the second logical category, which is the automation runtime, so it is with this whole API enablement, with this whole new refreshed architecture, it is fairly simple to add support for new custom stores for user authentication, authorization. Like I was explaining earlier, you can add support for new credential vaults, etc. So the design time is extensible, the runtime is extensible. Then again, from a whole platform deployment and operations perspective, there is newly added support for Docker. You can leverage that to create cloud templates and automate your whole platform deployment, so to say, and integrate well with the cloud infrastructure. Now, these are some of the examples across different categories that are provided in the new refreshed architectures. And mind you, these capabilities, like over and above the out-of-box integrations with a lot of complementary products that we're offering already through, like the BPM tool integrations through custom plugins, integrations with partner tools around process mining, AI tools like RapidMiner, credential vaults like CyberArk, etc. So these are all. So there is a core out-of-the-box integration play, and then there is this whole layer of extensibility across multiple dimensions that you can play with.
Okay, thanks, Amit. The next question on the screen is, what are some of the enhancements on the core automation capabilities? Maybe I will take that one. So there are quite a bit of enhancements on the core automation capabilities in 19.0. However, for this session, I think I can touch on a few main technical enhancements in this. One first and foremost that comes to my mind is auto automate that allows processes that are mined and discovered via the discovered tool to be imported into your RPA platform and create the processes in the designer, so that the time in creation of the process itself is reduced. In addition, you have the process documentation which a designer can use to design this process. So that is one of the key things that comes to mind. Other things we have added to this platform actually, and enhancements are around the quality rules that the entire product process quality matrix that we have added, wherein it is possible to add new rules and enforce new rules on the processes that are created. And also we have enhanced the performance feedback that we see when running these processes. So they give you time, performance for each activity. The third key thing that is going into this release is the capability to create new activities in. So we have always seen the capability of creation of new microbots, but in this version we have provided the capability of adding new activities. They will become first class citizens on your tool palette, so that whenever you want to use them, they are just a click away on the palette. So it will help extensibility of the product. And then there are again, out of the many, there is this newer method of automation that we have introduced, which is specifically for .NET automation. It gives you a lot of flexibility and more control on the .NET components. So you will be able to detect and also manipulate these controls using the studio. So these are three or four that come to my mind. There's a longer list. They will come out with the release notes of 19.0. But I will stop with these four. Okay, Amit. Mm, the next question on the screen is one from Chintan.
Sure.
What are the key enablers for cloud-based deployment in the current release, and how will we see a gradual journey towards becoming cloud native?
Okay.
Yeah, go ahead, Amit.
Sure. So good question, Chintan. I think see the way to look at it is we need to maybe deconstruct first what is it that we would typically expect from a commercial off-the-shelf tool, which is deployed in a given customer context, from against a traditional SaaS kind of a flavored product, and how that plays with from a cloud native journey perspective, right? So if you look at it, foundationally, you would see support for containers coming in this version of the product. It is expected to increase both efficiency and speed of deployment compared with the standard approach of a VM or VM oriented model of deployment. Um, Obviously, the low overhead of creating and destroying containers, combined with the ability to really orchestrate these across with the different types of tools and technologies that are available. That's going to significantly increase the cloud nativity, so to say, of the product and the application. Now, the other dimension to really look at is basically the API enablement. So, you can, over a period of time, we will attempt to build these APIs as a, collection of smaller services, with each service implementing its own, capability and running its own process, and behaving much like a scaled up microservice kind of an architecture pattern. And then last but not the least, I think we have not touched it in as part of the session. We have invested quite some in DevOps kind of capabilities with this release of the product. We've opened up support for GitHub integrations. We are releasing a Jenkins-based plugin for for better DevOps adoption when you are implementing the product in a given customer context. So multiple dimensions to this cloud nativity, and eventually, you would see, AssistEdge already feeds into a lot of cloud native PaaS services that are offered by the cloud service providers. And over a period of time, we will attempt to build more and more integrations and more, support for those type of technologies. So that is where, we are, and that is where we are headed in terms of cloud native.
Okay, I think, Amit, we have run out of time, but we will take one last question. I see that there are a couple of questions on the screen, but I will take one from Ashwini, which asks, what are the new enhancements available in AssistEdge Community Edition? Example, the low-code platform. If not, what is the guidance and when are they planned? So, Ashwini, yes, the community edition will be enhanced. Like it is our strategy. Post the release of the GA version, we will be working on the community version, and it will be available very soon. A lot of, as you are aware, the community version is, very, it is more the designer and scaled down runtime engine. which means a lot of designer features will be available. However, at this point of time, it is very difficult for us to comment on the actual scope. But that should be, you will have information on that very, very soon, maybe in a month or so. But most of the designer features will, yes, come out in the community edition. I can say that. So we will definitely provide more information of the community edition. So I think we don't have time for any more, but you can contact us directly. I think we should wrap up, Amit, if you are fine.
Sure.
Okay, then quickly, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for attending this session. We have come to the end of the breakout session and also the main event. Thank you for joining us at AdvantEdge 2021, and we truly hope that you enjoyed the sessions. We look forward to connecting with all of you, and have a great day. Also, the moderator will share the link of the session post the event. So please, if there are any queries, you can reach out to us at contact@edgeverve.com. Thank you so much for spending time with us. It was great bringing you the session. Thank you so much.
Thank you, guys. Thank you so much.